Welcome to the Oxford Centre for Mission Studies, where we're absolutely passionate about transforming mission through scholarship and research. How do we come to be in this amazing building here in Oxford? Well, 40 years ago, a number of Christian leaders from Latin America, from Africa, from Asia were gathering together and wrestling with what they saw going on in the world. They could see that a huge demographic change was taking place in the global church because the churches in their context were growing, they were flourishing, and the churches in the traditional Christian context of Europe, of North America, other places like that, they were stagnating or in decline. At the same time, while you had this huge demographic shift taking place, theology and thinking about mission was still firmly rooted in the West. And they asked the question, how do we help our emerging leaders in this flourishing church, in this growing church, how do we help these leaders grow their own theological awareness, their own understanding of what God's mission looks like in their context? And that's how OCMS was birthed just over 35 years ago. And it's our privilege to welcome scholars from all over the world to this centre. And today we see our mission not simply towards Africa, Asia, Latin America, although 2/3 of our scholars still come from those contexts, but actually we see our calling to serve the global church generally. And why do we see that? Because actually today there is a need to think in fresh ways about understanding what the kingdom of God looks like in every context where the church is placed, whether it be a secular context, grappling with artificial intelligence or human sexuality, or whether it be in a context of hospitality or where an awareness of the spirit world is very raised, or in a pluralistic religious context. In all of these different global contexts, there is a need to engage in fresh thinking about God's mission. So that's what OCMS is all about. Now, although we are a centre for research and scholarship, our delight is bringing practitioners, mission practitioners, church leaders into a place where they can bring their experience, and most of the people we serve have got significant ministry experience, bringing that experience into conversation with scholarship and academia, because that's the way in which fresh knowledge is generated. So actually, as an academic institution, our passion is not so much academics, it's practitioners, and it's making a difference in their lives, their ministry, and in how they serve the church.
One of the fantastic things about OCMS is just the range of students that we have. You see them on a Wednesday morning in the chapel service, and then after the service you hear these stories.
I think our students are amazing. They do amazing work where they are, and they do amazing research as well, which will help the global church.
So how do we do this? Well, we do this in 4 ways. First of all, we do it through programs to equip. And our main equipping program is our PhD program. And at the moment, we have over 120 scholars coming to us, almost all part-time. They continue their ministry in their different contexts. So more than 40 countries around the world, they're coming to us, spending time here in Oxford each year doing a PhD. But not just a PhD, we have a guided study program that a number are using. They don't want a PhD, but they're learning about how to bring their practice into conversation with scholarship. And we also have an intensive leadership development program for senior mission leaders, where we integrate the 4 strands of spiritual formation, leadership development, organizational development, and mission. So we equip, we research, we want to see knowledge spread. But the other thing we do is we love to connect people. We see OCMS as a hub where people can connect. Practitioners, academics, theologians, church leaders can connect to wrestle with current mission issues. And just to give you an illustration of what that looks like, this year we've had 2 consultations here with more than 60 scholars and different practitioners from around the world in both times. The first time looking at the way in which mission relates to disability, and particularly intellectual disability. Tremendously challenging. But what do we learn from people with intellectual disabilities that teaches us something about God's mission and the nature of God's mission? More recently, we had a consultation looking at the way in which Europe is changing from a text-based learning environment into a multimodal way of learning, an oral learning community. And what does that say about the church and mission in Europe? So we host consultations like this that bring a range of people together to learn from one another and produce resources that will be helpful to the church. We live in times of massive and complex change. It's our vision in OCMS to be a prophetic voice to the church, to enable the church to engage more faithfully, more fruitfully in the mission of God that we have been called to participate in. Thank you for joining us.